Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. It is January 16th. Lisa, Lydia, Scott here. Want to remind you we're live on Facebook every weekday morning. We're happy when you can join us, but of course it stays on your feed throughout the day so you can watch it whatever time works best for you. It's made into a podcast when we're done, so you can find that at inform.com/podcast. Look for the Inform Minute, and we're all over all of the social media platforms, and of course live on air, First News, every weekday morning from 5 to 7.
Yeah.
All right, we're still in the deep freeze this morning, heading in the right direction though.
I mean, it's about 10 degrees warmer right now than it was 24 hours ago. I know when you're talking -10 versus -1, it's not like a big difference, but we are baby stepping in the right direction. Right now it's like 0-ish in Fargo, so that's a little bit warmer. We're top off at about 5 later today. We ended up at 1 yesterday, so we did end up getting above 0. Either way you shake it, it's still cold. Wind chill advisory continues until noon today for wind chills as cold as -40. Once we do get to the afternoon, even in the warmest part of the day, we're looking at wind chills likely -10, -15. So it's still gonna feel sub-zero all darn day. Wind out of the northwest, 15 to 25, gusting near 30. So that's the culprit. The other thing that wind is doing, it's a little bit of a troublemaker this morning. It's blowing around some of the snow. We have no new snow falling from the sky. It's just all that loose snow that's out there on the ground. It's creating reductions in visibility, some of that snow across the road. I have had reports from last evening of visibility near 0 along Highway 2 just outside of Grand Forks. The wind is pretty comparable to what we had yesterday, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that kind of happen again today. If you are traveling, especially in the Northern Valley this morning, there is just some blowing snow and reductions in visibility. I've seen like 2-3 miles in a lot of spots. There is still a travel alert in Cavalier County, so Langdon area, especially blustery and blowing snow this morning. Otherwise, a quiet day. I have no new snow. That's what I'm saying there. So no big snow accumulation today. It's just blowing snow, the old snow, the wind, the cold. Kind of the same old from over the weekend and yesterday, really. Tomorrow, that wind is a little bit calmer. Single-digit highs the rest of this week. Next week, we'll get to warm up. We're forecasting 30s above starting on Sunday and lasting next week. So even some melting weather next week. Really helps that we don't have a ton of snow on the ground. I've been talking a lot about wind chill lately, so that's kind of been a big topic of discussion. This morning, I just kind of broke down what is wind chill. So basically, it affects anything with skin, people, pets. It's not the wind making the air colder. Physically, the air temperature is staying the same. If you have a car sitting outside and it's -5, your car is at -5. That's the object's temperature. But with skin, you have a little layer of warm air that just hovers right above your skin, your body heat, and with that wind, it whisks it away, making you feel colder faster. So it makes you lose your heat, and that's why it's important. That's why we talk about frostbite. If you remember crazy impressive wind chills prior to 2001, they are no longer valid. I have lots of folks tell me, it was -80, it was -100 back in my day. This is nothing. Seriously. Those are no longer valid. As of 2001, November of 2001, they redid the wind chill formula to make it more accurate. So yeah, we can do the conversion. If you have an old story, you want to know what the wind chill then would be like now, we can do that. I've already done that for a few folks this morning. So wind chill has been a big topic lately.
But you're kind of ruining stories.
I know.
It's like one of those fish tales where the fish was this big.
Here with the slab of reality.
-90 and I walked both ways.
Not that bad. No. -90 is probably close to like a -50, which we had yesterday morning in Devils Lake. So on First News.
So pretty cold.
Yes, still crazy cold. I don't want to take away from that, but I do have that conversion. Because anything prior to 2001 is no longer valid. So, also wind chill and real feel are not the same thing. I can get on a soapbox about that another day, but
that's its own Facebook Live.
Yeah, wind chill is the way to go, not real feel. Okay, that's all.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Lydia.
Big story we're tracking for you today. Today, there will be extra security at all public schools in Fergus Falls, after a violent threat was made against the district. That threat was made against Kennedy, Adams, and Cleveland schools in Fergus Falls. The threat actually was that someone was going to shoot out the windows, so very scary. It sent every school in town into lockdown, and students were sent home early as a precaution. Law enforcement, of course, investigating right away. They're saying the threats don't appear to be credible, but of course, out of an abundance of caution, they're taking all of these steps. Lake Region Hospital in Fergus Falls and Pelican Rapids Public Schools also got those threatening phone calls. So it's pretty widespread, but Fergus Falls definitely, taking this very seriously.
Absolutely. Right now, severe and snowy weather is still causing some travel headaches across the nation that is impacting us here as well in Fargo. Data from FlightAware, a flight tracking website, says more than 1,000 flights are canceled in the U.S. today. And several flights at Hector International here in Fargo also canceled this morning, specifically to and from Chicago and Denver. So if you're flying anywhere, make sure you're checking your flight status before you head to the airport.
This afternoon, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is expected to throw his support behind a new infrastructure plan ahead of the 2024 legislative session. Walz's administration is expected to propose a bonding bill to help pay for those projects. On top of money already allocated for infrastructure, the governor wants another $1 billion for those projects across the state. The next legislative session in Minnesota starts on February 12th.
All right, there's a big story last night, still a big story this morning, the Iowa caucuses, what's going on with that. It was a strong start for Donald Trump, the former president, of course. He won the Iowa caucus. They projected his victory just 30 minutes after the caucuses began. Ron DeSantis clinched second place, just barely edging out Nikki Haley, who was third. So now we turn eyes to New Hampshire, which is where the next GOP caucus will be just over a week away. So stay tuned for all of the campaign trail news.
The Iowa caucus is big yesterday, also football.
Yes,
big as well. And Dom's going to be talking about that. Hot Mic with Dom Izzo coming up 9 to 11 on WDAY Extra. The NFL playoffs are now down to the final 8, and 2 former Bison are still alive for the Super Bowl. He's going to be talking a lot about, of course, Hankinson native Cody Mauk and the Buccaneers blowing out the Eagles last night. That was a big game, a fun game. My husband's a Steelers fan, so he, in the afternoon when the Steelers were beat, he was super sad, so we had to just switch over to the Buccaneers at night.
Well,
but anyway.
The Steelers had no chance. So we all knew that was going to happen. But hey, at least they made it. It's cool that Cody Mauk is there, and we'll see how far the Bucs can go.
Plus, new South Dakota State offensive coordinator Ryan Olson joins Dom this morning as well to chat about the Jacks' second straight title and also his recent promotion. So lots to talk about in the sports world this morning.
Absolutely. Don't forget, you can always get a good subscription deal for our website, inform.com. Just go to inform.com/subscribe to get that deal. And then join us the rest of the day for our newscasts.
Yep, next one's coming up at 11, and then 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. Have a great day.